Hey, it's Scott for FamilyWheels.ca with another car review for your growing family, and this is the 2019 BMW 330i xDrive. That means it's the all-wheel drive version. Now here in Vancouver, where we are, BMWs are kind of like belly buttons. Everybody's got one. And for good reason, I think. They're good-looking cars. They're relatively affordable. I know they're more expensive than most, but the brand is strong. You get a lot for what you pay for. The fit and finish is good. There's just a lot that comes with owning a BMW. But does that mean that BMW, and this car in specific, are the right vehicle for you and your growing family? Only one way to find out. Let's go check it out. So the 3 Series Beamer has been around since 1975, with this model that we're in being the 7th generation of the car, and it was most recently updated in 2018. And for basically its entire life, it stood as a shining example of what a great car should be. The 3 Series has long been BMW's best-selling model, and the list of awards that it's won in its lifetime is basically endless. And of course, there have been a whole host of submodels of the 3 Series, hatchbacks, touring models, convertibles, and of course my personal favorite and longtime dream car, the performance-oriented M3. Now, here, for the current generation, the 3 Series comes in sedan, touring, which is the wagon, the 4-door hatch Gran Turismo version, and of course that aforementioned M3, which is a souped-up version of this guy, the sedan. So, the sedan is available in 2 different models. There's the 340i, which makes 382 horsepower and runs 0 to 60 in 4.3 seconds, or this guy that we're in, the slightly tamer 330i, good for 255 horse and does that 0 to 60 in 5.6 seconds. It's got a 2-liter 4-cylinder engine. BMW say to expect 9.1 liters for 100 kilometers, which works out to just under 26 US miles per gallon. Real world testing, we were more like 10.1 liters for 100 kilometers, which is 23 US miles per gallon. So not terrible, but also not amazing. This model we're in also has the M Sport package, which includes 19-inch rims, upgraded brakes and suspension, and an 8-speed automatic sport transmission with paddle shifters. Now, all this stuff adds up to a car that's not exactly cheap. The 3 Series sedan starts around 49,000 Canadian, but our test model, as equipped, would run you 61,395 Canadian out the door. That said, I do like the M package. While it's not full M car performance, there is something about the little logos everywhere that just speaks to the heritage of the brand. Now, on that note, there is just something about driving a BMW, isn't there? The brand has a history. It's almost polarizing in the way it divides people. Most gearheads and car lovers really admire BMW for their long history of making really great cars. They've always struck me as a no-nonsense kind of company, and they've never really seemed to stray from their formula. Just make really great vehicles that find a balance of what you need and what you want. I feel like non-car people look at Beamer with a respect. Somehow, like anyone who drives one either has good taste or good value, or a combination of both. They also assume you have money, of course. And then there's those who, out of disdain or jealousy, look at you with some sort of disapproval, either for being too frivolous or having something they want. And there are also people who just see the logo and acknowledge that it's a darn good car, which, to anyone who knows, it is. There's all the bells and whistles you could want in here. Basically, what you would expect from a BMW. Vernasca leather, a decent-sized sunroof, laser light headlights, an automatic trunk with kick to open that worked perfectly every time I tried it, as did the park assist, which I've grown to love. And though I didn't get to try it, you can get remote control parking, so you can actually get out of your car and park it via remote if the spot is too tight and you're worried about door dings. Super cool idea, but again, haven't tried it. The car does come with wireless charging, which again, once you've lived with it, you'll never go back. The lane keeping assist is great in its subtlety. No alarming bells, just a gentle nudge felt through the steering wheel that you're drifting out of the lane. It's part of what BMW are calling your personal driving assistant, which handles things like forward collision and stop and go cruise control. Inside the car, everything about it feels like a premium offering from a luxury brand. The fit and finish are excellent. The cockpit is comfortable and spacious enough without being so luxury that you forget you're actually behind the wheel of a car. The seats are comfortable and supportive. They're power with memory, and you can get them heated but not cooled, which was a bit of a disappointment from a brand like BMW. They also have an extendable thigh support, but it's not power, which did seem a tad weird to me. Nicely sized storage throughout the center console here. Cup holders work well, holding all sized bottles, and not huge but decent storage under the armrest. In the back seats, decent room, but not huge either. We do get heated seats back here too, and dual USB support, and I will point out that I really like the fold-down armrest here. It has cup holders built in so that if you had kids in the back with drinks, you feel like these cup holders would hold them secure with less risk of a spill. Nothing flimsy or loose. These are good. While we're back here, rear-facing car seat test, bit of a tight fit. We measured 26 inches from the back of the front passenger seat to the glove box and generally found it a bit tight in this space. Installing the car seat was easy. Latch covers, which opened up with hinges, which I thought was pretty good until it came time to remove the car seat. Then it took a bit of maneuvering to get under the cover and get to the release. It was doable, just not easy. Sticking with our standardized testing, the trunk passed just fine. We have 481 liters of space, and the rear seats fold flat for even more if you need it. In terms of road noise, the 3 Series comes in at 63-ish decibels at 100 kilometers an hour, and that's on dry roads. The infotainment system is a bit daunting at first. There's a lot going on there, but once you get used to it, it's actually pretty great. The touchscreen is well laid out and responsive, but it's a bit much to navigate through. You often need to click through a couple of menus to find what you want, but once you figure it out, it's definitely usable. You can also navigate from this scroll wheel here by the shifter, which also has some shortcut buttons around it. Same story, it's a bit tedious in how many steps it takes, but same thing, definitely usable. The steering wheel controls are standard fare and work well, and the dash is great, giving you excellent readouts of everything you need to know, nice and clear and easy to follow, as is the heads-up display. I'm not normally a fan of these, but this one works well and it's easy to follow if that's your thing. There is support for Apple CarPlay, but not Android Auto, which is a bit of a frustration to me personally, and it's worth noting that the Harman Kardon sound system is excellent. Drive-wise, well, it's not an M car, which is BMW's performance division. It certainly has the heart of a performance car. When you put it in sport mode, it's really spirited and really fun to drive. The car just feels well planted on the road. It handles excellently, and it's just all around a fun car to drive. The tranny can be shifted manually, but I just kind of prefer to let the car do that for me unless I have a clutch. It's not crazy fast or anything, but I guess it doesn't have to be. It's fun, and when you're in it, you feel like you're in an enthusiast's car. Like, it's just kind of special. Like you're just aware of the history and the pedigree. Everything is nice and tight and responsive. The exhaust note that you get when you've put the car into sport mode is fantastic. The car looks the part too. In our look back test, I give it an easy pass. Lots of people notice when you're driving a Beamer, and I got lots of compliments in our week of testing. It's sort of a classic elegance meets modern charm thing. I think it's a great looking car, and I would definitely steal a glance back whenever I could. So all in all, Yes, the BMW 330i is a really good car. There's a good reason that it's been at the top of the class for so long. I kind of feel like it serves as the standard by which all other sedans should be judged. It's just so well-rounded in its utility, its luxury high-end perks, and its performance. It's really fun to drive. I want to say that it checks all the boxes, but somehow I feel like that's just not doing it justice. Like, it exceeded all of my expectations. I'd love to own one as a daily driver. Just feel like the only issue is I'd find myself constantly questioning whether or not I should have gone all the way and gotten an M3. Hey, if you enjoyed the video, give us a like or subscribe to the channel, or leave a comment. We'd love to hear from you. For FamilyWheels.ca, I'm Scott.